This is so stupid. So, the oh, so. Amy, I am recording a Maple Valley Christmas. I saw it on Friendly and I'm like, okay.
That one wasn't as bad, but you will see, like, if you're going to do it as a drinking game, every time they talk about the goddamn hat, it should be a shot.
Okay. All right. I'm like, oh, God. Okay, before we get into
let's
intro.
Let's talk about that when we get to that point. So I don't have really any for as far as notes. I just took notes about the thing. I don't care how we do it. I
got no notes.
It's all in there. Not me. These go in one ear and out the other.
Colander up here. It's a mesh colander.
Yeah,
nothing gets through. Just kidding. It all goes away.
Just a sieve.
Mine. Yeah. Especially with these, it's in one eyeball and out the other. And
not
all of them. There's some good.
No,
ones.
there's some. I will say though, my favorite Hallmark movie, and I can't remember the name of it, of course, but it's not even a Christmas movie. Helpful. It's not even. It's a movie. Really,
that's like a rap right there. It's a
Halloween movie where this.
Oh, you talked about that last year.
The warlock. The warlock loses his powers. It's the cutest. I'm gonna find it.
Okay,
you find out what it's called, and then we can recap that sometime later in the season.
3-bed, 2-bath, and a ghost one was kind of cute on Hallmark during the fall here.
Oh, I don't recall that one.
I don't know that one.
Oh, I'd recommend watching it. I probably messaged you guys about it back in like October when we watched it, but it was like a woman who
because I would have remembered that. I never forget.
You want to take a bet?
No.
I never forget.
Do you want me to search our chat and see if I
I told you, steel trap.
No, actually it's a colander.
It's called A Kind of Magic.
Okay.
Oh, the one you like? Okay.
It came out in 2015 and it's unrated, so watch your children.
Are there going to be Effenheimers in it?
No. Are you kidding me?
Hallmark.
Though I will say there are several times that I'm just keep waiting for one of these Christmas movies to turn into like Christmas horror Hallmark, which would be hilarious.
I love it.
Which was on SNL when Nate Bargatze was.
I love him.
You did talk about that. I do remember that.
That one I talked about. Yep. And I did talk about, I think I mentioned the other one, but we hadn't talked about it. But the 3-bed, 2-bath, 1 ghost it's kind of cute.
Okay. Well, we'll do it. We'll cover that in season 5. 1 episode.
Oh, this does look like a cute movie. Is this a Hallmark movie? The 3-bed, 2-bath, 1 ghost?
Yep.
It looks really cute.
Mm-hmm. It's a little cheesy because, the girl who plays the ghost is like, well, doll, let me see how that is. And, she's trying to do like the 1920s talk.
Yeah.
A Hallmark movie is cheesy?
No. You must be mistaken. I don't think
it was a Hallmark movie then.
Sacrilege. I know.
How dare you? All right. Well, I might have to watch that because that looks super cute. The house that Anna, a new real estate agent, has listed has a spirit from the 1920s that just won't go. Even worse, the ghost is afraid she won't be able to pass over until she reconciles Anna with her ex.
Mm-hmm. Don't you see here, doll? Don't you know that you got blah, 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 blah. Yep.
I like that kind of talk.
I do too.
I like those old movies.
Right, I'm going to have to watch that now.
I will too.
That sounds cute.
Yeah. Cute.
Cute. All for cute.
Oh, for cute. So cute.
So cute. All right. Hi, Ghosty fam. Welcome to The Activity Continues, a podcast where 3 friends and soul sisters discuss episodes of the TV show The Dead Files and talk about other creepy shit as well.
this week, though, we'll be talking about Hallmark movies and some holiday traditions. And the Hallmark movies we have been watching and texting and messaging each other, some voice messages and other things throughout the holiday season so far.
Yeah.
Yep.
As far as content warning, we don't really know. I mean, it's Hallmark, so there's probably not going to be a lot. We're not going to be talking about like triggery things, but speaking for myself, we'll probably still have some Effenheimers. So
for sure.
Just I mean, maybe not as much as normal, but yeah. So some things we want to talk about. We had our holiday happy hour yesterday.
Oh my God, it was so fun.
And that was fun. Mm-hmm. We had a good turnout, and it was a good number. I wish everybody had come, but it was a good number, and there was still some over talking, so it's hard to like tell who was talking when and all that. So we'll work on that. We might use something other than Zoom next time. When there's more than 20 people that are patrons, I think we'll make it just paid patrons. So that'll lessen the number of people. Although everybody that was there yesterday was paid patron. Another thing we want to let our listeners know is that Google Podcasts, if you don't already know, Google Podcasts is going away because Google loves to discontinue pieces of their platform that people use and enjoy. And that is one of the ones that they're getting rid of. And we just got a few new subscribers in the past month. I got my report yesterday, and there's still new people subscribing.
Awesome.
On Google.
So, yep. So I want to make sure that those if you're listening on Google Podcasts, you're going to have to pick another podcast app pretty soon.
Do you know when it's supposed to go away?
No, they said mid 2024, but they announced it a year ago. So, and they said, nothing's changing for now in the announcement that they sent out last year. But when I checked it today, or yesterday, I think it said it's going away soon. So it could be any moment. I would recommend getting a new podcast app. Apple or not Stitcher. That's gone too.
Podbean. Are we on Podbean?
I
use Castbox.
I use Podcast Republic, but that's only for Android, unfortunately. But if you're an Apple and you don't like Apple Podcasts, because I know they kind of suck, then Podbean is a good one.
I just use Apple.
Yeah. A lot of people don't like Apple. Yes, we are on Spotify. But Spotify is nice because it sends you a note when you're following someone, and it says, hey, there's a new Armchair Expert episode or whatever. So
Apple does too if you have it set up.
Okay.
Because a banner will pop down and it will say new episode. And
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Podcast Republic doesn't send you a message, I don't think, but it just automatically downloads if you have it set that way. And then you go look in your downloads and it's there. And that's how I know that there's a new episode of whatever I'm watching. There's only a few that I automatically download. But anyway, so Google Podcasts going bye-bye. All right. So we're going to start with talking about holiday traditions, right? Okay. Yeah. We did get one submission from a listener, a patron, so we can read that. If you guys want to talk about any of yours, I've talked about mine before, but I'll bring it up again because it's a doozy. So,
I don't remember it. So,
okay. That doesn't surprise me.
Wow. To my face, too.
We've already discussed your memory today. All right. Amy, do you want
I have other good qualities.
I know you do. I know you do. I'm burning incense, everyone, because of the gremlins in our sound recordings lately. And it's the smoke is just going right to my face. I had it behind me, but then it was right next to Vivi, and I didn't want her to be.
The gremlins are now pissed off that you're.
They're like,
just send it back. Send it
Can't
back.
win.
It's like that audiogram when the person's like, I'm saging my house, and my kids are like, I can't breathe, and she goes, I bet you can't, demons.
I've seen that in a meme or a few things too.
Yeah.
I saw one that is something about if you're not coming to my house, then the sage is working or something like that. Anyway, Amy, gonna go first?
Yeah.
AP.
Yeah. Sure. Love to share our family tradition, which is making pierogi. So on my dad's side of the family, we are Polish. A good chunk of, even doing the 23andMe, I think a quarter of my genetic makeup comes from Poland, Eastern Poland. And excuse me, I keep clearing my throat, but
are you getting the incense from over here?
Yeah, I think the sage is burning a little too hard right now.
Yeah.
But so my dad's side of the family, so my great grandparents came over from Poland in like the 19 teens, somewhere. My grandpa was born in the US, but they came over, and my great grandmother taught my grandmother, who was her daughter-in-law, because she liked her, taught her how to make pierogi in her way. So every pierogi, if people don't know, is like the dumpling of Eastern European cultures, or in a lot of ways, they're called different things in different areas, but it is basically a dough with a filling. So I swear every culture there's empanadas, there's raviolis, there's...
And all those Asian dumplings.
There's the dumplings. There's all sorts of them. So the pierogi is kind of our thing. And ours are ones that we only make around Christmas, sometimes around Easter, but they're a long process. And so my grandparents did them for a long time. And then when they couldn't do them anymore, my aunt took them over, and my mom, my sister, and I would go and help my aunt make them. So my aunt taught me. I had done them once or twice with my grandparents, and it is basically making a pasta dough. So egg, flour, salt, water, and an extra egg yolk. And I have found like the perfect ratio of what's that extra egg yolk. So people have asked me for a recipe, and I'm like, I can give you instructions, because it's a lot of by taste, by touch, by feel, like what does it look like? And so we started making them with just my mom, my sister, and I, and then whoever can make it up to my sister's house. The last 8 years now, I think this will be our 8th year making them. And I think last year we made 400. So it is.
How big are they? Like what size?
They're a couple inches. So we typically take a ball of dough that's about the size of a walnut. So a walnut in its shell. And so you roll that out, and then we roll them flat, fill it with our potato and cheese mixture, which is potato, cheese, salt, and pepper. And our potatoes, I hand mash them. But we try to dry them out a little bit, because you don't want too much moisture in, at least in our filling. And the cheese that we use is a dry curd farmer's cheese, and it's harder and harder to find. It used to be dry cottage cheese, and you actually still had to squeeze the moisture out of it with a cheesecloth.
Oh,
yeah. And so you just want it a little bit drier because of the way that our dough and everything is made. So you roll out the dough. We do typically like 25 at a time, so we can keep count. And then you fill it, pinch it shut, so it's a half moon shape. And then we put them down so that the outside gets to dry a little bit. So that it gets like, you'll see the color change to kind of a golden yellow color. And then we boil them. And once they float to the surface, they're edible. So you always got to taste them, make sure that they're good.
Right.
But we fry ours. Yep.
Yeah.
And so we fry ours in peanut oil. Is a great one because they get nice and golden brown. But if you don't have peanut oil, we use like canola and throw a little butter in, and it helps them brown up. So they're super healthy. But
potatoes, cheese, butter, oil.
We've experimented with, adding some different flavors and whatnot. I am all for sharing like how to make them and teaching people or bringing people in to do so, because traditions like this can't continue if they're just held on to, right? And having had that experience, I've actually written down my instructions. And it's kind of a long thing, but it's one thing. I make the dough and the filling the day before, and then we make everything the next day. And we have found, like as long as the dough stays cool and it doesn't get tacky when you're trying to roll it out, then we don't have splitting or issues of getting holes in the dough, which if you get a hole in the dough, then it's really hard to fry because the oil gets inside and just makes it pop and explode.
Yeah.
But it's, finding like the right mixture. So I'll make I think we'll do like 28 to 35 cups of flour. And then you think it's 1 egg per cup of flour. And it's 1 extra egg yolk. So I'll make 7 cup flour balls. So 7 eggs, 7 cups of flour, and 1 extra egg yolk. Because if you go any further than that with an extra egg yolk, it doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't help the elasticity or the color and texture. So, yep.
Fun.
And then, so it'll be,
that sounds really fun.
20 to 25 pounds of potatoes.
That's a lot of potatoes.
Wow.
It's an ordeal, but I love it. It's something everyone's like, wait, when are you making pierogi this year? This is around the time you make them, right?
Fun. And then do you give them away as like Christmas gifts? Okay.
We give them to family. So if people show up and help, you get to take some pierogi home. And then,
nice.
My uncle and aunt and a couple family members who that's kind of the tradition, and gotten really good compliments that my pierogi make them think of their parents. So
Aww, that's so nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's the best compliment.
Yeah. Yes. Lots of pepper, lots of salt. And we have found the way to, as we dry out our potatoes, instead of leaving them in a colander, as we talked about earlier a little bit, we actually we put towels out, and then we put parchment paper on top of that. And we put the potatoes out on that. And then I salt and pepper them as they're laying out, so that they're drying, but then also absorbing some of the salt and pepper to try and get them as much as possible. And then still salt and pepper when I mix them.
Nice.
Well,
those sound delicious. I've had pierogies at Kramarczuk's.
I love Kramarczuk. So
I've had pierogies from Costco. So
hey, there's some really good ones out there. So
I bought some frozen pierogies, and I think they're still in the freezer, but I think they came with us from our old house. So don't think they're good anymore.
Yeah.
That was a couple years ago. So.
Yeah, a couple years ago. 6.
I do say I like to try pierogi when I see them on menus, but I'm kind of judgy.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure.
It's not that they're not good. It's just they're different. And so, and I know I've worked with people who also make pierogi, and they have a totally different recipe, but it's the same premise.
Yeah. Yeah. They make them at the Lowry restaurant in Uptown, and Greg orders them all the time when they're on the menu. Usually it's only in the winter, fall. And it's pierogies and I want to say it's like a beef steak with steak. It is a steak and pierogies. That's what it is. But I think there's like a gravy, like a brown gravy that goes on the steak. That I don't remember exactly, but he orders them a lot and he really likes them. That would be fun to make.
Not like potatoes and dough. And
I know.
Fried.
I know. I am such a sucker for any kind of dough wrapped something. I love, gyoza and wontons and pierogies and anything that's like that.
We can set up some time in January or something, and I can make up a batch that'll get us about 100, give or take.
Wow, that would be cool.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
I could eat quarter of that.
They can be frozen too, and then the texture changes a little bit, but when we take them out, when we freeze them, use the air fryer. Or I've known people who will bake them in like almost a lasagna type style with a red sauce.
Oh,
yeah. We do ours in the air fryer. It's really good.
Cool. Yeah, we should do that.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Thank you. Megan, do you have a tradition you want to share with us?
Not really. I mean, we just
gonna have to make your own.
We used to a few years ago when my sister-in-law first married into our family. We would do cookie decorating where we would decorate the cookies and then my dad and brother would pick the winners. But that kind of died out once we had, they had their girls, and it's kind of hard to do that. We do it now. So we'll still decorate the cookies, but we don't judge them. I mean, I secretly
out loud
judge,
anyway.
But, yeah, exactly. You're doing orange and green?
That's an interesting choice.
It's your cookie.
But that seems like something that could pick up again as the kids get older and, maybe just create creative.
It's just like
awards.
It's exhausting to decorate cookies.
Yeah.
It's like, I'll do like 2 really like dedicated decorations. And then I'm like, fuck this.
Yeah.
Like it's mentally exhausting, or maybe it's just me but
kudos to people who do cookie exchanges and all that.
Yeah.
I am thankful that we don't.
Yes.
I don't need any more cookies. No. I don't want to try and give them away. And I feel bad when people make like these great, brilliant ones. And then I just don't. Yep.
Yeah, it's too much. It's too much. So, but no, we don't really have any. I mean, the only thing we just do, presents Christmas Eve.
Okay.
And then Santa. So my brother and sister-in-law, their kids have never believed in Santa or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Jordan is going to, and we're going to start, I think, next year. Because he'll be 4 then. So he'll kind of get it.
So what's a fun one to do with kids? Because when my dad coached when we were younger, we used to have some of his players would do this for us. And it was mix oatmeal and glitter together. But then he threw it out in the yard because it's reindeer food. And so the glitter is used to attract. There's actually a little like story that goes with it. So I can't remember what there's like a little poem that goes with this. I found it before. Cute. And I've given it to some colleagues that have small children. But yeah, it was, throwing the oats out, and then the glitter is to attract the reindeer, and then the oats are to feed them as they're waiting for Santa.
That's cute.
Is this just dry oatmeal or is it wet?
Yep. No, just dry oats. And
then the deer eat them, and then I suppose there's glitter poopies.
Yep. And the the glitter's just meant to attract them in the moonlight or the starlight, or they're attracted to glitter, whatever. Yeah. There's just a cute little story that goes with it. So it's one thing that when I know I have colleagues with kids who have the belief in Santa and that sort of stuff, adding to that magic is I throw that out there for them. So
yeah,
it's cool. I like that.
I like that.
Yeah.
Amy, what traditions do you guys have?
So when I say Greg and I don't really do that much for Christmas anymore. We just have my mom and Jackie over for dinner. My mom comes over Christmas Eve and we watch Hallmark movies. And then in the morning, she gets up at like 2 p.m. And then we have dinner at 3 or 4. And then she goes home. But when I was doing Christmas with her side of the family, and we've talked about those people before. And so the whole time I was growing up, what we would do, and they still do this. One of the things they do is they sing the 12 Days of Christmas. So when I was little, me and two or three of my other cousins, I can't remember which all were involved. We drew these. We had this little paper that were like long, skinny paper that looked like little signs. And we took turns drawing the 5 golden rings and the partridge in a pear tree and all this. So these are all still there from the 70s, laminated.
Oh, wow.
And everybody gets one, or each group of people, because that family's humongous now. They all have kids who have kids who have kids who have kids. It's humongous. And so they sing the thing and they hold up the sign when it's their turn to sing that thing.
Oh, that sounds like
that's cute.
Yeah.
After that, they bring out a cake, and the oldest person in the room and the youngest person in the room sit together and with a candle on the cake, and they sing "Happy Birthday to Jesus" and blow out the candle.
Okay.
Yep. And then they sing "Come on, Ring Those Bells," which is a song.
A lot of singing going on.
Yeah. Oh, we used to do like entire variety shows. Like the kids would come out and sing a song or do a dance, and it would go on. It would all night.
Oh my goodness!
That's a lot.
And then the Santa comes, of course,
obviously.
And he comes in and sits down, and he has the big bag that all the parents have put stuff in for everybody in the room. And then he just sits there and hands them all out and says, "Have you been good?" and blah, blah, blah. It was really fun when I was little. It was one of my dad's friends.
Yeah.
When I was little, it was one of my dad's friends because, he's the actor. He had a ton of friends.
Right.
And one of them's name was Butch, big guy. And the belly was his own. And he was super sweet, jovial, knew the whole family.
Oh, that's
and
fun.
so
that's fun.
Yeah, it was really cute when I was little. And I remember when I was still a believer, I would get so excited. He would jingle the bells outside the door, and we'd all run to the door, and we'd be like screaming like it was the Beatles or something.
That is so cute.
It was really fun. It was really
That's just
fun
adults when
little.
there's more beverages coming in.
Yeah. Yeah. But
that's really fun.
That sounds like a really fun tradition.
A lot of that stuff was fun. Yeah. I could never get behind the come on, ring those bells, because everybody has a bell and they all ring it. It's light the Christmas tree because it's Jesus's birthday. And they sing happy birthday to Jesus.
You know, what's interesting? I have recently saw something and I kind of looked into it that the 12 days of Christmas are potentially all gifts of birds.
It is. Yeah.
The 8 maids of milking and the
11
9
lords
ladies
of leaping.
There's a couple of them that are a little bit of a stretch, but the 5 golden rings, ringneck pheasants.
Oh.
And it's something I read said like some of those might be like feast type birds, or like the lords of leaping, they were saying like great herons or things like that because they look like very regal and that sort of stuff. But pipers are a type of bird. And
I found a meme this week and it said, "You okay, babe? You've barely touched the 184 birds I gave you over the course of the 12 days of Christmas."
You can have your own menagerie with all of these, but the drummers drumming, I was reading what they were saying about that. And I'm like, you know what bird makes the most sense to me is grouse. I don't know if you've ever heard of grouse in the wild, but they drum their wings. They're literally like conservationists or DNR and that sort of stuff. When they're doing counts on grouse, they'll go out and they'll listen for the drumming. And it literally sounds like...
It could be woodpeckers drumming on the trees.
That's one of the things that they were saying too is... I know
stuff about nature.
Yeah, man.
Birds. We didn't say you didn't.
No.
I know.
We just said you wouldn't remember it. That's all.
It's true. Valid fact. That's valid. It's a valid point, Amy. It hurts. It hurts, but it's true.
I feel like we need to give Megan a gavel so she can just make a judgment on.
I'd probably make the same judgment like 10 times because I'd forget. I mean, how many times this season did I tell you to name an episode? Like 1, 2, and 3. Oh my. Yeah. How many times? And every time I was like, oh my God, this is the best idea ever.
I can't believe I just came up with this.
I know.
We actually have.
We haven't done it.
We actually have 2 other ones. We've done it twice. So we should do one of those every season.
At least.
Just have it.
And Amy's like, can you fucking stop with this? We've done it 75 times. Fucking stop.
And we only have 72 episodes out.
I know. Every time, you guys, I was so excited. I'm like, yes, I've got it.
But the thing is that I would think about some of those too, but then I'd be like, no, we've already done that. And so when you would send it, I'd be like, I thought about that too.
See, I didn't have that follow-up thought. I just had the initial thought.
Okay, that's fine. That's why there's 3 of us.
Yeah.
We back each other up.
And then AP and Amy have a chat on the side with a bet. Like, what do you think Megan's
what do you think Megan's
going to
suggest an Oh My episode again?
The struggle's real. The struggle's real.
But seriously, I haven't laughed this much in a while. My jaw hurts.
Well, it's good for you.
Hallmark movies, traditions, and laughing. Oh my!
Oh my!
So there's the title.
You did it. We could name all of our bonus episodes. Oh my!
Oh my!
Oh my!
Oh my! ...
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Who wants to read our submission? I'll let one of you guys do it. I feel like I've talked enough.
Me too. Amy can.
I'm gonna say I always talk enough, but I am happy to read. We'll see if my eyes want to work that way. Are you ready and you're comfy over there?
Yep.
Okay. All right. So this is a holiday tradition from our patron, Shannon. For a few years there, when I was a preteen to young adults, my dad and I had a Thanksgiving tradition. We would watch Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Oh my God, I fucking love Monty Python and the Holy Grail. The Knights Who Say Knee. He's got big, sharp, pointing teeth.
What are you going to do? Bleed on me? Your bloody arm's gone.
No, it's not. 'Tis a flesh wound.
It's but a flesh wound.
Take ya. Okay, we're one sentence in.
We should bring Greg in here because he could do the whole fucking movie. Yeah.
How does Sparrow carry a coconut? Okay. Maybe we need to talk about the Holy Grail someday.
I'll let Greg in on that one. I'll sit that one out. He can do that.
Yeah. When I was 10 or 11, we'd come home from my uncle's house. He hosted Thanksgiving most years, and he and my grandma and my mom cooked, and it was on a cable station. I'd never seen it before then and thought it was the funniest thing I've ever seen. Side note, this and Blazing Saddles are two of the funniest things ever.
I don't think I've seen Blazing Saddles.
Oh, you should see it. It's good. I like it better than Holy Grail, actually.
So good. And Young Frankenstein. Oh, but those are Mel Brooks.
Yeah.
So little different.
I like
genre.
Mel Brooks more than I like Monty Python.
Yeah. They're just different.
Shannon that.
They're very different. Yeah.
Yeah. Very different, but yeah, so good. Okay, back to Shannon's story. I'll stop jumping around. My dad enjoyed explaining the jokes to me that I was just maybe old enough for. ... And it became a thing every year for a while. Also, for 11 years, I worked for the local Michigan company that paid lots of money to save America's Thanksgiving Day Parade here in Detroit. So we had a big float and a balloon and many employees in the parade. I'd watch it every year and see my coworkers on TV. No going downtown at 5 a.m. in the cold for me to get it dressed up and who knows what and walk 3 to 4 miles. That didn't sound fun to me. But I had come down with RA the year after I joined the company. So I'm totally on board with you there, Shannon. I'm not going downtown at 5 a.m. And if I'm going to walk miles, I'm hiking where there's not a lot of people. I don't want to
go anywhere at 5 a.m. I don't want to go anywhere. I'm going to, no. If you're inviting me to something and it starts at 5 a.m. or it starts after 9 p.m., I'm out. I'm sorry. I'm out.
Honey, after 9, I am also one of those that is like, I'm in sweatpants and it's 4:30. You're going to have to do a lot to convince me to come out.
If my bra's off, there's a high chance I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
And then Shannon also says, the same uncle from above banned me from playing Nintendo Duck Hunt with them anymore because I was too good. Of course. I love it. Thanks, Shannon, for sharing your stories.
Thank you, Shannon.
Yeah. Anybody else has any? Send them in.
I could just picture her sitting there with her dad and he's explaining some of the jokes that would just go over a child's head.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Fun.
We are the knights who say, nee. Fun story. So when I was in high school, I was in an English class and we had to put on a skit about something. Mm-hmm. And so my partner and I were doing like a Monty Python and the Holy Grail type skit. So we got a bunch of letters and we taped them together. So he was wearing a chainmail suit. And so we galloped into coconuts and then we did our whole skit.
Cute.
That's awesome. We also did the Knights Who Say Knee for my 8th grade parents appreciation thing. We all had to do different things. And one of my groups, we decided to do the Knights Who Say Knee. And so we had, the shrubbery and the white picket fence that they went with the shrubbery later on and all of that stuff.
It's a classic.
It is. It sure is. If you're a regular listener, you know we love our 3 Spirit drinks.
They are the non-alcoholic spirit drinks that are taking the world by storm.
3 Spirit is a range of 3 distinct drinks, each with its own unique flavor and effect.
The Livener is a refreshing and invigorating drink that is perfect for starting your day or night.
The Social Elixir is a smooth and sophisticated drink that's perfect for sharing with friends.
And the Nightcap is a calming and relaxing drink that's perfect for winding down before bed.
All 3 drinks are made with plant-based ingredients and are free from alcohol, gluten, and sugar. They are also vegan and ethically sourced.
So, whether you're looking for a delicious and refreshing drink to enjoy on its own, or a sophisticated non-alcoholic alternative to cocktails, 3 Spirit is the perfect choice for you.
Try 3 Spirit today and discover the difference. Visit us.3spiritdrinks.com and use the promo code The Activity Continues for 15% off your entire order.
Cheers!
That was our best one yet.
Speaking of classics, time for our Hallmark Christmas movies of 2023, the massive classics that they are.
Yes, that's right.
So this week I watched Navigating Christmas, I think it was called.
Yes. Okay. So
Oh God.
Friends out there, the intro that you heard for this episode is a voice message that Megan sent to us while she was watching this. And we laughed so hard at it that we decided it had to be in the show. So that is the...
This is so stupid. So the oh, so navigating Christmas. If you're gonna watch it, I'm gonna spoil it, so maybe don't listen to this message. But it's a single mom who goes with her teenage son out to this lighthouse to spend Christmas on a lighthouse, and the guy that she falls in love with teaches him Morse code, apparently with a flashlight. And so he hears that his dad is now having a baby with his new girlfriend, and he takes this boat out in the middle of the water, and he gets stranded, and they're all looking for him. And he gets found because he's using a flashlight to spell to Morse code with his flashlight. And the mom goes, "What's he saying?" And the guy goes, "He spelled out happy holidays." He's stranded in the middle of this bay area, and it's freezing out. But yeah, he's gonna spell happy holidays.
Oh my God, it was so the plot of the movie is Melanie and Jason. So Melanie's the mom, and Jason's her teenage son from a previous marriage where they are divorced. And Jason's dad was supposed to take Jason skiing, but instead his new girlfriend is pregnant, but they don't want to tell Jason that. So Melanie lies to Jason and says his new girlfriend is sick. And so she books this holiday at this lighthouse where they're the caretakers of the lighthouse, and so much fun. And, of course, she's a big city gal and going off into podunk nowhere to be with this. Oh my God. It's just it was really bad. I didn't enjoy this one.
I did not enjoy this one either.
I did not watch it, but when you were telling me about they taught him Morse code with the flashlights, I'm like, okay, Morse code is not easy to memorize in a short amount of time. And we all know that these movies only take place in a fucking week.
It was a week. Yeah.
And then there's the whole kid out in a boat in the middle of a harbor flashing a flashlight. Let me tell you that the normal beam of a flashlight does not travel that far.
Right.
No.
You might see a flicker of a light, but you won't. I mean, it's not like it's traveling miles. So they'd have to be within a fairly...
And so Jason learns that his dad's girlfriend is pregnant. And of course, he just loses his fucking shit. And he steals a boat and travels in. Okay, you guys, he's traveling into a bay. It's not even he's out in the ocean, amongst 50-foot waves. He's in the bay. They're all acting like he's fucking gone forever. And so they're, oh my God, Jason's never done this before. So then Peter, the lighthouse guy, is standing at the top of the lighthouse with his fucking binoculars. And he's like, "Oh, come on, Jason, give me a sign." And this is when Jason uses his flashlight because the boat, of course, died in the middle of the bay.
And nobody knows how to paddle or row oars, I'm sure.
No. Oh my God.
That would have been some helpful,
And so they're on walkie-talkies, and Peter's like, "I found him. He's using Morse code to talk to us." And then Melanie's like, okay. And then Jason goes, "He's signing happy holidays." I'm like, "Are you
That's not what he was. Me? That was not what he was sending. No. That was not the Morse code he was sending. We're all positive.
And then I
texted,
I was texting Amy about it, and I called it, what did I call it? Morose code?
Oh, I don't remember.
It was Friday night, and Greg went, "Womp womp."
Oh.
I spelled Morse code wrong. I spelled it morose.
Morose code.
Depressing. Morose code.
Yeah.
I mean, in his case,
the whole movie, wrong. I know that Hallmark movies are supposed to be corny. That's part of the charm, but this one was just bad. There
are some, and I think we were talking about this in our chat, Amy or Megan was like, has anybody ever not finished a movie? And Amy, you said you feel bad if you don't. I'm like, I know within like 10 to 15 minutes if I'm going to turn this off.
Because I didn't finish, what was it? A Maple Hills
there's
Christmas
two Maple
or something.
ones this year.
I know there are.
Mm-hmm.
It was just, it was so, like, there were so many plot holes in this. It was worse than Swiss cheese.
Or string cheese.
Or string cheese.
Jinx, Amy.
Okay, so the plot of this movie is this girl, her family owns the farm, and it's like a maple farm, and they want to expand to get into making ice cream or something. I don't fucking know. And there's this issue with the land. Like, oh my God, the land's not ours. So she goes to the local doctor to help. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Oh my God. This plot has more holes than string cheese, or not string cheese. Swiss cheese has more holes than Swiss cheese.
It was just, I mean, I was like 15 minutes in and I'm like, I can't do this. This is awful. This is so stupid. So don't watch that one.
We started one and then I realized because my mom just went through and like recorded ones that sounded good. And then we realized it was the Great American Family Channel.
No.
And the movie sounded really interesting, but the amount of Botox in these women, and I'm sorry, like do what you want, but it was unnatural looking. Like there was a woman who is supposed to be playing an 80-year-old woman and just like just
that's
like,
okay, but don't be gay.
Yeah.
Right.
It was just too much. And they were doing they were having tea, like a tea party, and they all had to hold hands and say a prayer right then and there. And again, it's everybody's thing, but I'm like, really, at a tea party? But yeah, we lasted. I'm like, I can't watch this. I can't. And half of the reason is because of the channel that it was on and what they stand for and a lot of that. But also, and I know Hallmark has not been the best at that, but they're getting better.
They're getting better. They're getting a lot
at
better.
least trying. Like they've had a few. I think it was last year, or the year before. They did have a same-sex couple that was the main.
That was last year.
Couple in the story.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it was a really cute movie
well,
too.
And they've heard, like, hey, you never have any people of color as your main characters. Lifetime is probably a little bit more ahead of the curve on those sorts of things. But yeah.
Hallmark has a mahogany channel now.
I saw that. I noticed that in the app. That's really great.
Some of the movies look really good.
I'm going to also be in the regular one.
Yeah, they should.
Or that we know to watch them.
There's a lot of them that it's like, okay, I am going to have to do the Hallmark app or whatever, because Rescuing Christmas, which was filmed in Duluth, which is only available on there, and that's with Rachel Lee Cook, and I adore Rachel Lee Cook.
She is really cute. Yeah, she's one of the ones that she was in a really cute one with I believe it was, she owned a winery or something with wine, and she was in that one. It was.
Did
cute.
you see the one where she traveled cross country, and I can't remember the name of it, but they end
We're
up
really
in like
nailing this.
Yeah. This one is a couple years ago, but I've watched it probably 3 times and I know what happens in it. But it's like one of those that if it comes on, I'm like, it's a cute one, because they end up having like she and Guy are traveling and they end up in an airport and all the flights are grounded. So then they try to get on a train and then they get on the wrong train and they end up in like a cattle car of a train. And then they end up in like Kansas, and then they end up getting they end up borrowing somebody's tractor for a little while, and then she buys an old dog grooming truck.
Oh, it's called Cross Country Christmas.
Yes. Yep. I'm
looking up all of her Hallmark movies.
That one's pretty cute. But yeah, there's some good ones out there. I will say other things that make it difficult. Sometimes the kids in the Hallmark movies are overacting.
So she's in. I'm looking at a story, and it's Autumn in the Vineyard. That's the one that I was looking. Okay. I was thinking of. She is just really cute. Oh, but then there's Summer in the Vineyard too. And Valentine in the Vineyard.
I was going to say, is there Winter and Spring in the Vineyard?
There should be.
No.
Yeah.
There might be, but I don't see it on this list. Summer Love was her first Hallmark movie.
Okay.
But anyways,
I do like they have gotten more leading people in the Christmas movies, at least lately.
It's not just the same 5, Rachel Lee Cook, Lacey Chabert, and Candace,
who my mom calls, my mom calls Lacey Chabert Chelsea for some reason. So I always call her Chelsea now.
So to me, she's like salt and pepper. Like she's just like good seasoning, but like bland. Like she's not going to jazz up a dish. She's not like oregano.
Or vinegar. I mean,
she's growing on me. I didn't like her at all at first. And then I watched the Scottish one, Merry Scottish Christmas.
I still need to look at that one.
It was cute. I mean, I would give it 3 hot chocolates. That's my rating system.
Okay, out of 5.
Out of 5. Yeah.
Yep.
I would give it 3. If it wasn't Scotland, I would have given it 1.5. But it's okay.
Yeah.
And it's, it's her and then her
Scott Wolf.
She's playing a woman who goes to Scotland with her brother, who is played by Scott Wolf, who was her brother in Party of 5.
Yes.
Okay.
When they were children.
Yep.
One of my favorite Hallmark actors, aside from Tyler, because we all know I love him, is Ryan Pavey.
Yeah.
I'll watch almost anything with Ryan Pavey in it.
I like him
think
too.
He's really cute. And he's a decent actor for Hallmark,
Yeah. Yeah.
He doesn't overact it.
There's another guy that I want to point out because, I liked the show or the movie I watched him in this year. It's called Checking It Twice. And the guy's name is Kevin McGarry.
Yes, you mentioned that and I was looking for it and I couldn't find it.
It was on early.
Granted, I only looked for 2 seconds, so it's not like I did a real deep dive for it.
It was like the second one that I watched this year. But he's the one that was in the Wedding Veil series.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
And he had the terrible Boston accent.
Oh, gosh.
Oh. Ryan did?
No, Kevin McGarry is his name.
Oh, duh, you really just fucking said that. See, you guys, you're seeing it in real time.
And Checking It Twice also had Kim Matula, who I really like. And she was in The Ghosts of Christmas Past, which is last year. That was like a retelling of the Scrooge story.
Mm-hmm.
What's the real word for that? The Christmas
Carol.
Christmas Carol.
I keep
I'm like,
wanting
it's not
to say
Christmas story. I know, me too. And I'm like, nope, that's the You'll Shoot Your Eye Out.
That's with Ralphie.
Yeah.
Which is also a classic.
Yep.
But I really like Checking It Twice. It's called that because he's a hockey player.
Yeah. Oh, that's one I did want to watch. Speaking of hockey ones, did you guys watch Mary Kiss Cam from last year?
Mm-mm.
No.
I might have watched it last year, but I don't remember.
Overall, it's a pretty good one, but there's one thing in it that I'm like, if anybody actually lived in a northern city where there is snow, this would not happen. And it is both of the main characters. It's like a fated, as an audience, you're supposed to see like, oh, they both do the same thing. And it's scooping snow off of a metal pole or something in the street and eating it.
No,
nobody fucking eats snow off of anything.
No.
That's gross.
No.
Maybe in 1940, but not now.
But
not
it's
now.
like they sit there and they both just like scoop snow off of like, I think one's even like a newspaper like thing. And I'm like, if you do that, you do it in nature areas and
right.
Not
and don't eat the yellow snow.
Yeah, I was going to say, even in nature areas, someone's probably peed on it.
Gross.
No, it's not a good idea
yellow
to eat snow.
or blue if it's rabbits.
Don't do your research, Hallmark.
Yeah,
Right.
that was just one of those things that my mom and I were watching it last year, and we both looked at each other and goes, you think they could have gotten at least a local to tell them that is not something anybody does? Because both of these people are supposed to be like local to the area or grew up in the area.
I will say I do like it when the snow is horrifically bad, like when they glue.
Oh, and it's digital?
Like, no, not even that. When they like glue cotton balls to the boots or they glue it to the windshield wipers. I'm like,
every once in a while you get it where it's like, oh, like the one that they filmed in Duluth this year, they filmed in March. So they're going to get actual slush.
Yeah.
They're going to get that actual disgusting look of snow.
It's the gross. Yeah. It's not the pretty December snow. It's the gross shit brown March snow.
Which is the thing that everybody always misses, though, in these movies, is that you throw salt and sand down on the road. It is never just a pristine white.
No.
Because if it's pristine white, that means that the snow has been packed down and it is now
slippery. Yep.
You're going to slide.
And that is not something that they like. Just, you don't even have to do much. Call somebody who lives in one of these states where there's snow often.
Or listen to our podcast. We can give you
how
guys
does this work?
Hallmark. Call us. We're available.
Right. For a small fee.
Yeah. But I'll say what
role.
Did really like this year was Mystery on Mistletoe Lane.
I did watch that.
And
let me find my notes on that one.
That's from on the Hallmark Movies and Mysteries channel. Which
you guys like those more.
I do like those because they tend to have a little bit more of a plot.
Yeah. And it's not the same story over and over again.
They don't follow the drinking game rules of the typical Hallmark ones as much. They
like there's probably not a craft show.
Yes.
There's a place
they
for
have
that.
their place. They have their place, but I like the ones where you got a little bit. There's one, I'll have to look it up while you guys are chatting here too, but there's one let me find that before I talk about it. But I liked this one because I like the mystery and it's not hard to guess it.
No,
on what's going on.
It was cute. I gave that one 3.5 chocolates. I liked that one. I thought it was cute. I like that guy too. The male lead in that one. I didn't put his name in here. I can't remember his name.
What's the name of the movie?
Mystery on Mistletoe Lane.
Oh, you mean the one you just fucking
Steel trap.
Colander.
Oh my God.
Okay.
I'm smart in other ways.
Are you looking up the man's name?
Yes.
Okay.
Victor Webster.
Really? Is there another man?
David?
Listed?
Is that David?
I don't remember his character. No, that was the dad. Wasn't David the dad?
I don't know.
Avery was her last name. Was it David? Maybe it was David.
I think David was the guy.
No,
okay.
The dad's name, it looks like, is Wallace.
Nope.
You're right. It was Wallace.
Victor Webster's the actor.
Okay. Well, that does not ring a bell in my noggin at all. But sure, I like him.
He was in Working Moms, Bringing Down the House.
He's been in a bunch of Hallmark ones.
The Wedding Veil Journey.
Oh, that's where I would have seen him.
Yep.
A Christmas Cookie Catastrophe. The Wedding Veil Legacy.
Yeah.
Matchmaker.
I saw the Wedding Veil. He was paired up with Allison Sweeney once. And I liked him.
You do love her.
I do love her. She's not in any Christmas ones this year, I don't think. I have not found a single one with Lori
Loughlin. Ugh.
You know what? She's good in the mystery.
She's good in
ones.
the mystery series. Yeah.
Mystery ones. I like her in those.
She can't do romance though, in my opinion.
Those have, if there's a romance, it's very slight and it's not,
no kissing because that's sinful.
Probably not a thing with that. She's not stuck up like that, is she? She's the one that I don't think she is.
She's the one who sent her children to
right. She went to prison.
And she got a slap on the wrist and cried about it.
Yeah. No, she went to prison.
Yeah, a slap on the wrist. She didn't get much time there. Like it was like 90 days or something. She got more time
than the other one. What was the other one's name?
Yeah, because they actually admitted to it, and
William
I think
Macy's wife.
Yeah, Felicity Huffman.
Felicity Huffman.
Yeah, because they I think paid some retribution on that earlier on.
Sure. I'm sure they threw money at it. Like
admitted she did it. She did it, and it was wrong. Lori's trying to fucking get out of it, and denying it.
Yeah, and her.
I will say, you guys, I hate to say this, but my opinion of John Stamos is kind of dropping because he's kind of doing a lot of like TikToks with Lori.
He's been defending her the whole time, which I don't know. I don't know the story, so it's not my business. I don't care. But I know that he was on something, maybe Armchair Expert, and he was talking about her, and he was saying, we don't know the whole story.
Okay, but the story is she paid them and she lied. And that's all you need to know. There's nothing extra.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe there is. I don't
know. But
I'm
really starting to be not a fan of John Stamos, which is like heartbreaking because we know I've been in love with him for 20 plus years.
Right. Well,
sometimes true colors come out, and
I know.
I know.
Look at Matt Rife.
Ugh. Don't get me started on that.
I know.
Okay. I want to get to some of the good ones that I watched this year. I don't know if you guys did, but one of the ones I really enjoyed.
I've really dropped the ball, you guys. I'm so sorry.
Well, maybe at the end of the year, we can do a little New Year's Eve wrap up and talk about any other ones we've seen.
I hate that the Hallmark Channel app does not have the most recent movies. I fucking hate it. What's the point of you?
It's so dumb. I know. Anyway, some of these can be found on Peacock. Mm-hmm. Peacock is re-airing some of them because I know when I started watching Never Been Christ, which is the Tyler one.
I love him.
I started watching that and then I stopped. Like I thought it was halfway through, but when I went back to rewatch it, I was like, "Oh, I've seen this. Oh, I've seen this. Oh, I've seen this." I think I missed like the last 10 minutes. Anyway, when I went back to watch it again, it was gone. So then I had to record it on Friendly and wait for it to be re-aired so I could finish watching it. But
how was it?
It was good. It was good. I liked it.
Yeah, that was one that had a different ending.
Well, yeah, it's
Don't spoil it.
Okay.
I haven't seen
one
it.
thing I will say is that I was going to talk about a different one, but let me go back to that one. Okay, so I did like that they had a Hanukkah aspect to it too. Yep. It was two best friends and one celebrated Christmas and the other one celebrated Hanukkah, but they celebrated both of them together with each other. They went to each other's families.
And I like really that they showed like how families don't always get along with certain things. And like this one just felt so this had to be like a new director or new producer, somebody coming into this because there was just, it felt very different than a lot of them.
Yep. I thought so too. And the only thing I didn't like is that they made the Jewish girl kind of a bitch. I didn't like her.
Yeah. I think both of them had their flaws. And I think they just, highlighted on one more than the other at times.
I mean, they didn't make her sound like she's a bitch because she's Jewish. Certainly wasn't like that.
No, because I would say that I felt that the other friend was also kind of a bitch.
Really?
Yeah. So
I guess I just liked her better. The actress.
Yeah. I think it was just, I think that they were trying to show, because they're two best friends who have been best friends for so long that like
junior high or something.
They're even more before that they're like finishing each other's sentences and they do everything together. And then, but also by doing everything together, are they truly living their own lives? Mm-hmm. And so then we see, are
they losing their identity and just becoming one
and
person?
This is where all of a sudden they start to see some of their identity come out that's different than each other. And they both blame the other person for some of those issues. So I think, and
that was
I think you just are going to be drawn towards one or the other a little bit more because I saw like you see the one who goes for the guy and the one goes for friends that she didn't have in high school that she's now connecting with. Mm-hmm. And
both the cool kids that wouldn't talk to them in high school.
But then both of them get jealous and mad of each other because they're both living things that the other would have liked to do too, but they can't date the same guy and they can't have the same relationship with everybody as they have with each other.
They could if they wanted to be polyamorous, but
sure. I mean, I don't think the guy would have cared.
That's a little too progressive for Hallmark at this point.
I don't think they're not there yet. They're not there yet.
Mr. I'm a vegan, but not a vegan.
Yeah. I'm a vegan, but I eat salmon. He was funny. Yeah. Tyler was funny. And he was Chris.
I will say he annoyed me at times during that. And that was also a purposeful thing is they made him presumptuous so that it made him annoying so that you didn't fall in love with him as the character. Mm-hmm. So, but
I still thought he was pretty fucking charming, though.
I love him, Tyler Haynes.
I would have gone out with him
so much.
Tyler,
Tyler, call me
because John Stamos is out.
He's out. You're in. All right, you've been promoted.
But definitely, Hallmark, please make more movies like this that are about friendship and family and stuff. And it doesn't mean you have to, like that you're less than because you don't have a relationship at the holidays, because that is where a lot of these movies go to, is that, oh, you must be just that old spinster.
Yep. Yeah.
And
the only thing you're missing in your life is love
and children.
But no, you can have a full life without either of those things.
That's right. That's right.
You don't need it.
So more of these movies that have just something different to them. Just give us like people actually having liquid in their cups.
Yeah.
The one I started to watch, but totally tuned out. I will say they did have hot chocolate. It was really cute. What was it? It was the woman's next door. Oh my God, I have to find it.
That's like half of the movies. So
The Woman Next Door. Okay, while you're looking.
Okay.
Or do you want to keep talking about it?
Nope. You can.
While you're looking, I want to make sure that
picture a perfect Christmas. That's what it is.
Oh, okay. Is that a new one this year? That doesn't sound familiar.
Let me look.
I'm only watching 2023 ones this year so far. Once I get all those done, then I'll watch
2019. So it is an older one.
An oldie, but a goodie.
It was, So a professional photographer returns home for Christmas to visit her grandmother and is hired as a nanny for the young nephew of their next door neighbor. So I did start to watch it. It was cute.
Okay.
And they did have hot chocolate with marshmallows. So,
well,
it's almost all, they never have liquid. Like they give them empty cups and we're like, we're not stupid. There's nothing in those cups.
At least put some weight or something in it. Just make it just make the bottom have weight in it, because the way that they're like, oh, look at all this. And you're like, that is not how you would walk. Most people, when you walk with a full cup of hot chocolate, two of them, you're sitting there staring at them and walking forward and being like, okay, stop. And they're sloshing a little bit and
nonchalantly strolling down the fucking sidewalk.
Where there's been a couple of times where somebody's had it and it's like tilted in their hand and you're like, they didn't catch that one.
Yeah. There was
someone in editing dropped the ball there.
Yeah. There was one that I watched today called Santa Summit, and they had
I have that one recorded.
They had drinks, and they were like fun drinks. And they're real drinks, and they're drinking them, and they get the whipped cream on their nose and everything. So it was real. That was a really cute one. But
I'm probably watching that one tonight.
Good. I like that one a lot. And that was more about friendship too.
Okay.
Each of the girls, we're looking at a guy, but it's okay. But the one I want to make sure I mention, because I've tried to do this like 5 times and I've distracted myself every time. It's called Holiday Hotline.
Oh, yep.
And the premise is, I'll just read it from in IMDb. After leaving London, Abby connects with an anonymous caller while working at a cooking hotline. It's a turkey hotline.
Oh my God, cute.
The
bird or the country?
The bird.
Is this the one where he's trying to like he's measuring the oven to put a turkey in? And I'm like, why are you measuring an oven?
It's a big turkey. So the caller is single dad John, in quotes, who Abby unknowingly has become smitten with in real life. So she comes to wherever this magical town is.
Yeah.
And from London, where she has been, she has broken up with her boyfriend, of course, the chef at the restaurant she works at, because he stole her recipe for popovers. But what do they call them?
It's pudding.
Yorkshire pudding.
Yep. Teamwork.
And so she goes to this place and she stays at an apartment building where this guy does like handyman stuff at this apartment building. So she meets him that way. Mm-hmm. Then there's another lady. This is a really big cast and all the actors are good.
Can I go out on a limb and say that I bet the handyman is actually John, the caller?
Oh, yeah, it is.
Oh, yeah.
And we know that right away. we know that in the beginning. So it's not a surprise or anything. But she gets one of the neighbor ladies says, oh, you should, being that you're a chef, you should go work at this hotline. They're looking for people. But she is English, British, and the people that are calling don't think that a British person would know how to make a turkey. So she puts on an American accent and she picks her different name. I think it's Peggy or something. So when she talks to him, he doesn't know it's her. She doesn't know it's him.
She's got her British accent, but then in the look at that.
It's really cute though. It's really well
adorable.
written. It's funny. It's well written.
What's it called again?
It's called Holiday Hotline.
Thank you.
And
I'm going to text you in 5 minutes and ask you what it is.
What was the name of that one where they're the turkey?
The turkey?
So there's scenes where they're talking to each other and he's in his kitchen trying to put the turkey thing together and she's at the hotline place. But they have her, the way they filmed it is she's in the room with him. But she's they don't see each other.
Not. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It's really cute. Anyway, I really liked that one.
And you watched that on Friendly?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. I'm gonna have to look for that because that does sound really cute. What's it called? Just kidding. I remember.
Are we going towards Biltmore next?
Yes.
All right.
Let me say
real quick.
Okay.
I'll be right back.
All right. This one, Holiday Hotline, was written by Julie Sherman Wolfe. And because I like the writing so much, I looked her up. And she also wrote Hanukkah on Rye and The Holiday Spectacular, both from last year, which were two of my favorite ones from last year.
Nice.
Yeah. So if you find a Hallmark movie that is written by Julie Sherman Wolfe, it's going to be a good one.
There's ones that I really liked, and they're from a couple of years ago, and there was like 2 or 3 in the series. But of course, I can't remember what the name of it was, but it was a woman who was going to she was trying to find her father, and she ends up going to this town or whatever, and he was a famous author, so people think that she's going there to just get money and stuff, but she's really just trying to find her identity and all this sort of stuff. And I can't remember what it was, but it was really interesting. I think that was from like 2019 2020, somewhere in there.
Okay. Well, if you think of the name, let me know. I'll put it in the show notes.
I probably won't. I tried looking it up. And that is not easy.
Yeah. When you don't know any of the actors or anything. The Hallmark one, the Hotline one did have, I liked the guy in it. I liked both of them, actually. The girl was adorable too, but his name is still Niall Matter or Mater.
Okay.
Matter, but I heard someone else pronounce it Mater. And she is Emily Tennant. And she's very familiar to me. I looked her up and she's not British. So the British accent was fake.
Okay.
The American accent was real. And do you want to wait for Megan to do the Biltmore one? Or I don't think she saw it. No, she didn't. So
I think we can get going on it.
Okay. So yeah. Biltmore Christmas.
She says I can hear you guys.
Oh, okay.
Hi, Megan.
Oh, that's right. She's got her Bluetooth headphones in. So a Biltmore Christmas. This is the IMDb synopsis. Follows Lucy as she is hired to write a script for the remake of a holiday movie. She joins a tour of the grounds. This is written terribly. It takes place at a hotel. They don't mention that. Biltmore. She joins a tour of the grounds, and when she knocks an hourglass over, she finds herself transported back in time to 1946. But it was actually 1947.
Yep. By the way, did you get to see the commercials in between?
Yeah.
With some of those that show like the behind the scenes that they did at the actual Biltmore?
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is of the Vanderbilt family in Asheville, North Carolina.
Okay. I didn't get where it was, but I know they're like selling tickets to it. You can go. So it's like in connection with this film.
It's Asheville, North Carolina. So they were doing a lot of tourism for Asheville. So it was actually filmed at the true Biltmore.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's a beautiful building.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I loved this movie. I laughed. Good. I cried. It was, I
adore Bethany Joy Lenz.
Oh, she's a main
character in this.
And I like the guy too, Christopher Palaha.
Yep.
I really liked him too. He fit that old movie star image just perfectly in his tuxedo and his perfect hair. And
in one of the behind the scenes that they were doing, they were reading off like facts about what's been filmed at the Biltmore and that sort of stuff. And they had fun chemistry as they were like there joking around with each other too, which is, they're not necessarily reading off a script, but they're reading. And then all of a sudden she just starts like reading really fast.
Yeah, that was cute to see those little behind the scenes things. I liked that.
Mm-hmm.
This is by far my favorite one that I've ever seen, I think, any year.
Yeah, I like this
So
one
far.
too because it did have a different part of the story. It did have some ties, and actually, we made some comments, and I'm not going to give away any of the ending or anything, but we made some guesses that were accurate, I'll say, as we were kind of going through this. But
yeah,
I liked, that it showed in so many ways that we know oftentimes that people don't get along on set. And in that movie that they were showing is like the, lead did not like the leading lady. And
everybody who said that the other guy was like Mr. Friendly, Mr. Hollywood, everybody loves him, was actually a dick. And I knew he would be because they said it in the very beginning. And I'm like, oh, she's going to find out that guy's really actually a dick.
Yep.
Yeah. I love a movie when they're transported back in time.
Oh, and this one did it so well. And I'm like, how are they going to end this? I really didn't know how they were going to end it.
We kind of guessed. That's one of the ones I guessed.
I
didn't guess completely how part of it went.
Yeah, I know.
And you probably know what I'm talking about. Yep. But yes. Yeah. But I loved the woman that she meets, who then becomes her friend. And like
on the tour.
And photographer, and like is like, I'll be your lookout.
Yeah.
Just goes with it right off the bat. Like, well, you weren't standing here. Now you are. So it must be real.
Yeah. I now believe in time travel. I'll be right here in 2023 waiting for you when you get back.
Yep.
And say hello to so-and-so for me. It's really cute, Megan. Really you got to watch it.
Yep, you do.
It's the best one.
It's called A Biltmore Christmas.
Okay.
In case you didn't catch that.
I'll forget. So thank you, Amy.
I'll text you later.
Forget.
Okay. Are there any? Oh, Heidelberg Holiday. Did you see that one?
Oh, yeah. I saw ads for that one, but haven't watched it.
So that one, I watched the whole thing thinking that was Emily Osment. It was not. Her name is Ginny Claire Mason, and she's adorbs.
And she's about like this big.
She's tiny, and she sings. And I was watching this one, and Greg walked through the room, and he goes, nice fake German accent, because it takes place in Germany. So I looked up the actor. His, this is what it says on IMDb. Frederick with lots of little umlauts and stuff over there.
Yep.
Or accent aigus. Brossier, his French name, was born in 1992. That's one year I met Greg. In Frankfurt am Main, Hesse, Germany, but grew up in Rudelsheim am Main, Hesse, Germany. He is of German French ancestry and grew up bilingual. So take that, Greg.
Yeah. If that's even his real name.
I know.
There's another one out there that looks interesting. It's the Norwegian holiday.
Yeah, I have that one recorded. I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah, that we've been kind of looking at that one, and I'm like, you know what? I look at that a little bit. It's doesn't have like the typical like leading guy in it from the commercials I've seen. The strong jawline and like trying to be a model type. Not that that's anything wrong with that, but just
like Ryan Pavey is what you're saying, because he is very strong.
I don't know any of their names. I'm like, oh yeah, I recognize that one from another one.
Yeah. I'm just starting to put them all together.
I know Tyler.
Yep, Tyler, and my Luke McFarlane. I love him. His movie this year was Catch Me If You Claws.
Oh, cute.
Which I wrote. My one sentence review is stupid name, Hottie Santa.
This makes me think that we just need to have like a checkerboard of like, the guys, leading guys and leading ladies, and just check off like when they're in movies together.
I almost started a spreadsheet today.
Why am I not even surprised by that?
I literally was like, then I can go by who is the writer of everyone, and then check
I'm
the
actually
writer.
Surprised you don't have
I know.
I
think it's because I fell asleep. Otherwise, I would have. But that one was cute too.
Yeah, I do think that they're getting better. My dad will say, if he turns them on in the morning, because Bodie, who's our resident expert on Hallmark movies, likes to spend his day laying on the bed watching Hallmark. And the old ones are
who doesn't?
Right.
So bad.
They are really bad.
And I don't know when exactly the whole like Hallmark era really took off, where it's like they were always doing movies, but all of a sudden in the last few years, it's like everyone's
it's been
gotten
like
on.
I would say like 10 years, 5 to 10 years is when it's really taken off.
I feel like it's in the last 5 maybe that it's really gone. And, that's where some of the demand of like, hey, you need to have some diversity of several different things.
People are actually watching this shit.
At least they're listening.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they're doing it. I mean,
and they know that we have bingo cards. And they know that they
put out freaking wine last year because they knew people played a drinking game.
Yeah. And so they're playing along and they're putting stuff in there. I noticed last year they were like, would you like a hot chocolate? Wink, wink.
Yeah.
Because I know that it's, somebody drank because they mentioned hot chocolate. So I know.
There's definitely nods, or sometimes somebody will say something like, man, it never snows like this kind of snow, or just like little things, and you're like, oh, we see you, we hear you.
The writers, though, they can't be thinking that they're breaking any new ground with these movies. I mean, they're not, but they're cute. They're those feel good movies that you put on when you just want something easy that doesn't have any thinking or anything like that.
Exactly. And I think we've been watching a lot of them on the weekends and stuff, and my dad's always kind of made fun of us in the past years. He'll watch one or two, but this year he's really been like, oh, we should watch more Hallmark movies. Yeah. And I think, as I told both of you before previously, just with how this year has gone and this fall has been really hard for my family with, the loss of a family member and a sickness of another, just gets tough. Yeah. And I think we all just kind of grasp for something that's easy and heartwarming
and no problems and everything's perfect. And for that hour and a half or 2 hours, it just lets you forget your life, forget whatever is going on, and you just fall into the movie.
If you record them, you can fast forward and get them down to about 84 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's what the last few years has been. I never watched them until 2 years ago. And I think that's just because, well, first of all, when the lockdown started, we were all watching more TV. But I think it's like you said, an escape just to, with all the shit show that the world is becoming. So, before we get off the topic of Hallmark, I want to plug. Oh, do you have something else to say?
I have one more movie that I don't know if you guys have seen this one. And this is one where I say that, unfortunately, the kids acting makes it a little hard, but the story is good.
Okay. Yeah.
It's called A Season for Family.
Okay.
And it is a woman who lives in California, has an adopted son, and he's doing a class project and is trying to do like his family tree, and they reach out to the adoption agency to try and learn more about his family, and finds out that he has a brother. So she goes back home where the adoptive brother is. She tried calling the adoptive father of this boy whose wife has passed away, and they never told their son that he's adopted. And so, but then there, weird things happen, and they just keep running into each other over and over and over again. And then the boys become good friends, and they kind of start dating. But like I said, sometimes
the boys start dating.
No, the boys become friends, and the parents start dating.
Oh, okay.
But the acting, the kids are adorable, but their acting is, you got one kid who is maybe a teenager who's supposed to be playing like a 10-year-old.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And the surprise eyes.
Oh, I know. Sometimes you just got to overlook the kids acting.
Oh, yeah. You'll watch it and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Like the movie is good itself.
I will say, I don't know if I could watch that one. Adoption movies are a big trigger for me.
Yeah.
I tend to get really upset for various reasons by them.
Yeah.
So, but I'll try it. I'll try it.
Well,
you don't have to.
Yeah,
you
can push it if it's going to be weird for you. We can still talk about more movies. I just wanted to make sure, because I meant to say this in the beginning and I forgot. There is a podcast called Deck the Hallmark. And it's three
you
guys.
You mentioned that in the chat. Yeah.
Yeah. Three
See,
guys.
I remember that.
Hey, look at that.
The one thing I remember.
They talk about the Hallmark movies that are out this year. So I have listened to a couple episodes of theirs. One I listened to is the Heidelberg Holiday before I watched it. And then I listened to the Never Been Christ after I watched it. But anyway.
Do you recommend listening before you watch the movie or after? Or doesn't it matter?
I don't think it makes any difference. I made a point to watch the Heidelberg one because I had heard the podcast already and it sounded cute. But it, and I was like, oh yeah, I remember when they talked about this scene, so I don't know. It's either way. I mean, I think there's going to be spoilers. I mean, God forbid.
Well, how many small spoilers can you have in a Hallmark movie?
Right.
Let's be real.
But it is, I just found it on my regular podcast app, but apparently if you have Philo TV, they have video. It's on there like a TV show.
Oh, cool.
On there. So if you have Philo, you can watch it there. Otherwise, you can just listen on. I don't know if there's another way to watch it video wise. I haven't looked into that. But anyway, one of the guys loves Hallmark. One of them is meh, and the other one hates Hallmark. So it's the three of them discussing these shows. And
okay, that sounds real good.
It's really good. And they're cool guys. They're, they're not bro guys. They're cool.
Yeah.
So
that's good.
Deck the Hallmark if you're looking for a Christmas podcast.
Which who isn't?
I found it delightful. Are there any other ones we want to talk about?
None that I can remember.
I
names
just have
of.
a lot to watch now.
Yeah. I'll mention one more that I really liked. I gave it 4.5 hot chocolates.
Ooh, that's big.
Yeah. Well, the Biltmore, I didn't even get to tell you when my
was
Biltmore.
That a 6?
That was, I wrote it down. That is 100 hot chocolates with extra whipped cream and Baileys.
Wow.
Ooh.
It does sound really good.
One.
I
really liked that one. But this other one was called, where did it go in my book? Scrolling through my thing.
I have some non-Hallmark when you're done with your Hallmark one.
Okay. It's called Where Are You Christmas? Addie wishes for a year without Christmas, and she wakes up in a world of black and white. She must work together with the town mechanic to restore Christmas.
Oh, cute.
So it literally black and white. Like she wakes up and she's like, everything's like black and white. She's black and white. Yeah.
Like Pleasantville. Yeah.
Somebody said, I haven't seen Pleasantville, but someone said it's
so
similar.
Cute.
Yeah.
I really like Pleasantville.
Yeah. So somebody in the stream Marino said it's a cross between Pleasantville and It's a Wonderful Life because she ends up having to make the town remember Christmas because Christmas doesn't exist. She's like, when's the Christmas pageant? And they're like, the what? What are you talking about?
Oh, so also like the one where nobody remembers the Beatles.
Oh, I don't know that.
Oh, there's I can't remember what the movie's called, but it's somebody where he wakes up and nobody remembers the Beatles except for him. And then he finds like 2 other people who remember the Beatles.
Oh, is it a Hallmark movie?
No.
Oh, I was going to say I didn't know. Amy.
I didn't know either. Know either.
Don't give me that tood.
Dude.
Does it sound like something that the Hallmark Channel would do?
Maybe they branched out. They've got same-sex couples, so anything's possible with them.
Yeah. There was one that I
yesterday.
picked up. Oh, that makes sense. There was one that I picked out because I thought it maybe was going to be lesbians, but it wasn't. I was disappointed. Maybe someday.
They'll get there.
Anyway, that's I think there's a couple that I've seen now that I haven't talked about, but that's okay. They weren't that great.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a few out there, a couple that we just stopped and didn't watch, but there are a couple streamers that I've watched. Jeannie on
Oh,
Peacock.
yeah. I want to see that.
That's with Melissa McCarthy.
Yeah. Greg told me you could watch that all by yourself.
As a genie. And it's around Christmas time. So Christmas is but it's kind of cute. And it's about him trying to realize what he has in life is good enough sort of thing. So I recommend that and kind of learning in this way. They describe where the 3 wishes that a genie can grant comes from. Because when he gets the genie, she's like, no, you have unlimited wishes. And he's like, well, where'd the 3 wishes come from? That comes later on. And they tell you where
I have a guess. Is it religious?
Mm-mm.
Oh, I thought it was going to be the three wise men.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Nope. But yeah, even there is a connection with, where she's like, what's all this stuff? And they're like, oh, it's Christmas. And he's like, celebrating Jesus's birth. And she goes, who? And so he explains it. She goes, oh, so he wasn't lying.
Yeah. They put that in the commercials. He was the son of God.
Yep. And so that's cute. And then we watched last night a family switch.
Oh, is
you
that
did mention that in the
Yes,
Jennifer Garner?
It was really cute.
Yeah, it's with Jennifer Garner and Ed Helm, and then the blonde girl, I can't think of her name, is from Wednesday. She's Wednesday's roommate.
Best friend.
And then the boy
I love her
is
friend. She's
the
so
boy
cute.
is from Mighty Ducks, the new version.
Oh.
It's just so there's some of it that is so like, because of course everybody's got some big thing happening the next day after they all switch bodies.
Mm-hmm.
And it all just gets fucked up. But the best is that they're walking around and this isn't a big thing, but they're going like, you're like, why do they have the dog with them? Well, they also have a toddler. So I'll let you guess what happens when everybody switches bodies.
Oh,
okay.
It is.
All right.
Oh, funny.
It's worth watching.
Yeah, I'll watch that because I love Jennifer
the
Garner.
toddler running around like a dog and the toddler in a diaper. The dog potty trains. And then they leave the kid and the dog with the neighbor. It was like
hijinks ensue.
The neighbor's like, oh, I can see why you guys are screwed up. Oh,
cute.
Anyways,
right.
that was a cute one, and I think we're gonna watch Candy Cane Lane with Eddie Murphy here this week yet. That's on Prime.
I just remembered I had a dream last night that I was friends with Eddie Murphy.
Oh.
Just came to me now. It was weird.
Interesting.
Yeah. Anyway.
Why were you dreaming about Eddie Murphy?
I have no idea. Probably because I saw a commercial for that show.
Could be.
Oh, that could be it. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't normally think about Freddie Murphy.
Eddie Murphy, not Freddie.
Eddie Murphy, not Freddie Mercury.
Eddie Murphy. I was going to say, Freddie Mercury when I said, yeah. Neither of them I think about very often. I appreciate them both, especially Freddie Mercury.
Right.
But yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yes.
Should we wrap up?
Yeah,
Probably.
I think so.
Wrap it up.
I think you got enough for like 2 episodes now.
I know, probably. All right. Well, this is just a bonus episode. So we just hope that you guys had fun with our little holiday stuff. We will likely not be releasing anything until our season premiere, which is January 4th. But on that episode.
Back and listen to some of our old ones.
Yeah. Yeah. You can listen to last year's holiday Hallmark wrap up.
Yep.
But let us know if there's any you enjoyed.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Reach out to us on
open for recommendations.
Yeah. That season premiere episode, January 4th, we will be recapping season 11, episode 1. And the reason we picked this is that one of the clients, it was a family, somebody in that family has expressed an interest in coming on the show as a guest. Yes. So we're going to watch it, and then we haven't said it yet. So it still might not happen, but TBD. We hope it does. We hope it does. So that's why we're going to do that one. I did watch it again a week ago or so, but I'll watch it. I'll watch it again. It's a good one. I thought it was good.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting.
I will say I watched the episode this morning, and I wasn't going to take notes during it. Then I was like, oh, fuck it. I'm already here. So I took my notes out, and I have a bunch of notes and whatnot. And I was like, man, this last season, they did Amy dirty.
They did.
Like,
it's real bad when you go back and watch earlier
when you watch
ones.
some of the other ones, and like they made her cookie cutter at times this past season comparatively to previous seasons. Like we've made fun of like her being like, yes, that's what I saw. Well, this time she like directed a lot more in the review, in the sketch, and was like, no, I think you need to do this, which is what they did for Cindy.
Yep.
Right.
Which then made Amy look even worse.
Right.
Yep.
In that part. So,
yep.
anyways,
because they were editing those first 5 episodes that Amy was on. They were editing those when she was already gone.
Yes.
Yep.
So they can edit them however they want.
They were probably pissed off as fuck at her.
Yeah, I'm sure
so
they were.
Like, we're gonna fuck her over.
Yeah.
Make her look like an idiot.
There's one point in this episode too that Steve says something and she's like, "Oh," like she's like, like just her response to it was just like, like you can sense some potential dissension already from back then.
And that was season 11, right?
Yep. So 2019, I think, is when that season came out.
Oh yeah, she said this has been going on for 10 years, but I'm sure it got worse every year, especially as our political climate got worse every year.
Yes.
Anyway.
It checks all the boxes for believability to me.
Yeah, it does. So, all right. Well, thanks for joining us, everyone. Yep. Bye-bye.
See you later.
Thank you for listening to the Activity Continues podcast. We really appreciate you giving us your ears for a bit. Please reach out if you have a suggestion for which episode of the Dead Files we should cover next, or if you have a spooky story you'd like us to share on the show. We can be reached at theactivitycontinues@gmail.com or through our website or any of our socials. Links are all in the description of the show. Please feel free to drop us a note and say hi. And join us next time when the activity continues. The Activity Continues is produced by me, Amy, at Collected Sounds Media, and is part of the independent Collected Sounds podcast network. We are also proud members of the Boo Pod network of super cool podcasts.
Nailed it.
Hello everyone, and welcome to my podcast. My name is Alicia, and I am all the way from South Africa. My podcast name is Hello Poland. I am currently living in Poland. And being here gave me the advantage to learn some of the creepy stories and hear about the haunted places that's on this side of the pond. I am also talking about creepy, scary, and freaky people and places in South Africa. So if that is your vibe, please come check out my channel. I also occasionally drink and get my friends a little intoxicated. And then we chat about whatever they want to chat about, and it's lovely because the conversations, the more we drink, get quite hectic, and it's very entertaining. So if you are interested in discovering a new channel, or you just want to come check me out, or I mean like the channel, please don't come check me out. Anyway, if you want to come check out the channel, then you know where to find me. Hello, Poland. Okay. Have a nice day. Also, don't do anything stupid. Bye.